I just don't think we've done enough in free agency. A lot of people really want to see the Chiefs get that home run hitting, that game-changing running back.
Etienne has got to be at the top of the offseason needs if you're going to spend money at running back. I think he's got to be right up there with Breece Hall.
Breece Hall is probably the better overall back in my opinion, and I think that would be a bigger splash move. However, I think Etienne's not far behind him, and I think he can bring a lot to the Chiefs offense. I've been talking about free agency, and I think that it's very important for the Chiefs. Brett Veach has kind of dropped the ball on free agency, in my opinion, over the years. I think he's drafted okay. I just don't think we've done enough in free agency. But let's talk about a guy that I think could come in and really change this offense for the best. A lot of people really want to see the Chiefs get that home run hitting, that game-changing running back. I think everyone saw one of those a couple nights ago in that Buffalo Bills and Jacksonville Jaguars matchup, and that is Mr. Etienne. Wouldn't you like to see him in a Chiefs uniform, Mike?
Yeah, I would. Heavy on Chiefs come out with an article, and they said Chiefs could target 3,800-yard running back to address backfield issues. Inside the article, they quoted Jared Feinberg from SI.com. It said he broke down the team's backfield woes, noting that the Chiefs finished in the NFL's bottom 10 for rushing yards per game. He suggested the Chiefs could address the need in free agency, taking aim at one of the top backs expected to hit the open market. He goes on to say the SI.com writer suggests the Chiefs could address the issue in free agency, taking aim at Jacksonville Jaguars' Travis Etienne. He goes on to say Etienne has topped 1,000 yards in 3 of his 4 seasons with Jacksonville, rushing for a total of 3,798 yards with 25 touchdowns. Etienne is a solid receiving target out of the backfield, making 168 total receptions for 1,338 yards with 7 touchdowns. Steve, I think that Etienne has got to be at the top of the offseason needs if you're going to spend money at running back. I think he's got to be right up there with Breece Hall. And I think if you look at the market values on both of those, they're pretty similar. The market value for Breece Hall is somewhere around 10 to 12 million estimated. They think that it's going to be about 4 years, 41 million. Etienne's a little cheaper, 7 to 8.2 million. Now, I do think that could run up a little bit, especially with him performing so well the other day in the playoff game. And they're saying about 4 years, 33 million on him. Which one of those two guys would you likely would want? Would you rather have the Etienne at the 32, 33 million, which I think is going to climb closer to 40 million, to be honest. And then Hall, somewhere they're already estimating around 41 to 45 million in that range. Out of those two guys, which one do you like the best if the Chiefs were to throw money at him in free agency?
Yeah, well, I think market value-wise with Etienne and with Breece Hall, it's probably going to be a little cheaper with Etienne, right? I think Breece Hall is probably the better overall back in my opinion, and I think that would be a bigger splash move. However, I think Etienne's not far behind him, and I think he could bring a lot to the Chiefs offense. We know he's a dual threat guy, right? He can also be a bell cow. He can handle 250 carries a year. It's not a big deal. He also, like you mentioned, he had 1,300 career receiving yards, so that'd be a perfect check down option for Mahomes. He's got that home run ability. He can really break some big plays, and we've seen that this season. And he's scheme compatible. I mean, he's been over there with Liam Cohen in that system in Jacksonville, which they utilize the modern spacing and creative run designs and everything that Andy Reid does. So, I mean, I think that he could fit right in. If I had to pick between the two, man, I think that they both would be a great pick up for the Chiefs. Like, I feel like both of them would be obviously a huge improvement from what we've seen at running back. And I think they could both bring a lot of value to this offense and help kick it in the right direction. So it's hard for me to pick one or the other, but I think both would be good. However, I do think, I was kind of thinking Etienne would probably be around that $10 million a year mark. I don't know what you just quoted off that you had read about his market value, but I think about $10 million a year is kind of where I got this guy. But there's also Kenneth Walker III who's going to be available. He's going to be in about the same range as Etienne Jr. A lot of people like his running style a little bit better. It's a little more hard-nosed. And then, Mike, you mentioned on a live stream the other day about Rico Dowdle. That would be a cheaper option. I think he'd probably be somewhere more in like the $7 million range. He's more of a workhorse dude to me than the others. But Kenneth Walker's kind of a power back. I think as far as dual threat lead back, I think you done hit the two on the head there. I think if you want to go high profile, it's Etienne or Breece Hall.
Yeah, it's got to be between those two. And I think a lot of people think Hall outdoes him by a significant margin, but that's just not true. Etienne versus Hall since 2022. Etienne was drafted in 2021, but he missed the entire rookie season with a Liz Frank injury. So from 2022 on, total rushing yards, Etienne's got 3,798, so basically 3,800 yards. Breece Hall's only got 3,400. Total receiving yards, Breece Hall does have about 250, 300 more receiving yards, but total scrimmage yards, Travis Etienne's got about 5,136, and Breece Hall's just a little bit over 5,000. So he's actually got him on total scrimmage yards. He's got 10 more total touchdowns than Breece Hall, but he's also played about 10 more games. Now, I will say that Breece Hall's encountered more injuries throughout his career, I believe, at least more big-time injuries. The Liz Frank, and I think Hall ended up having a knee injury or something. I don't remember if it was an ACL or MCL or what it was. But in 2025, this past year, Etienne played 17 games, Breece Hall played 16. He had more rushing yards. He had more rushing touchdowns. They had the same amount of receptions at 36. Breece Hall actually had more receiving yards, though. He had about 60 more receiving yards, 58 more. Etienne had 6 receiving touchdowns compared to Breece Hall's 1. Breece Hall did have about 16 yards more from scrimmage, and then total touchdowns, Etienne led them 13-5. Again, one was a playoff team, one was the Jets. It's kind of hard to go at that, but you can see that they are the same caliber running back, to be honest, on paper. They're almost the exact thing. I will say that I think maybe Breece Hall fits the inside zone, outside zone scheme that Andy likes to run maybe a little bit more than Etienne, but I don't think Etienne should be written off because I think he could do it. And I think Etienne might have a little bit more like wiggle and burst. I'm not 100% for sure on that. I've not watched tons of Breece Hall stuff, but I feel like Etienne's got that thing that like Andy Reid backs always want, like that make you miss in a phone booth. And I do know Breece Hall does have that a little bit, but I think a lot of people are just like, look, Breece Hall or nothing. I think Etienne, though, is right there with him.
Yeah, and he's more cost effective, right? That's something that you got to look at, especially with the Chiefs salary cap stuff. So it definitely could sway that way if they decide to go running back in free agency. I mean, let's think about it, man. Breece Hall, he's premier back. He's top tier, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Etienne, he's not quite to Breece Hall's level as far as being a top tier guy that's going to garner a shit ton of money. I mean, he's going to make good money, but he's not going to make as much as Breece Hall. Now, here's an option, Mike. Do you think that they would be able to give him like a really lucrative 1-year prove-it deal and be able to get away with that for short-term relief at running back, and also setting up Etienne to go out in 2027 and try to get the major Breece Hall payday? Do you think they could come up with something like that? They've kind of done that with receivers. Like if you look at like Marquise Brown,
right,
they were able to do that to try to be that stair step to, you know, like a bigger contract. I don't know if you could do that with Etienne, but maybe.
The next great touchdown is coming, and you can bet on it. All Chiefed Up has teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, and just because the regular season has ended doesn't mean the excitement has to. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. New customers can even turn $5 into $300 if your bet wins, paid and bonus bets. So sign up using our promo code ACU, and again, new customers who bet $5 can turn that into $300 if your bet wins, paid out in bonus bets. With DraftKings, the crown is yours. It's possible, but I want to say no, they probably couldn't get it done, and here's why. I think Etienne's market value is still relatively high. I think it's still going to bump up to $8, $9, $10 million a year. Still going to be a little higher than what I think they're valuing it at. And I think with a running back, even over a receiver, your lifespan in the NFL is shorter. And I think that he sees this year is the year he's got to go make some money. I don't know if he wants to sign a 1-year deal, injure himself, and then miss out on a lot more. It could screw up his entire career. So I think he goes out this year and tries to get as much as he can get. And that's why I think he probably pushes 10 mil. I think he's earned it. Etienne can flat out be a game-changing running back. We watched that the other day. He tore the Bills up. They should have won that game. They just scored too quickly. And the defense just kind of caved a little bit there on the last drive. So I think Etienne is a hell of a running back. I would love to have him here. I almost would like it just as much as Hall. Now, again, I don't even know if Breece Hall is going to be available. I'm hearing lots of things that said the Jets may be interested in putting the franchise tag on him and letting him go for 14 mil this year and try to work out a contract long-term extension off of it, which is wild. A lot of people don't want that, but that is an option. I wonder if that would be an option for the Jags. Now, I wouldn't think they would think that way with a running back, considered Liam Cohen and the pass game and everything. but
Right.
Etienne was very valuable to that offense this year.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 60K subscribers before this next season kicks off, so we're going to need your help. Share us out with your friends. Tell your friends about some good Chiefs content. That would be freaking awesome. And we'll catch you guys next time. Go Chiefs.